Happy Monday, my loves. I wanted to start off by wishing you well this week on all the many things that you're going to learn in both reading and in writing, and then also in math and in social studies and about women and just like about life. You have so much ahead of you this week that I think you're going to be able to go home and when your parents say, "How was school today?" you can say more than just, "It was good." You'll be able to say, "Oh my God, I learned so much today." Okay, with that being said, I want to share with you a terminology that you're going to possibly be asked about, and it's called the point of view. And so some of you have probably already heard this and you're gonna be like, oh, I already know this, but some of you might not have heard about that terminology. Sometimes when we write, we have an opinion about what it is that we're writing about, and it's going to skew our focus. So if I'm writing, for example, about sharks, and maybe I'm a little scared about sharks, maybe my writing about sharks is going to sound different than somebody else who really respects them and goes down into the and does some deep sea diving and interacts with sharks and understands them better. And so that piece of writing is going to look different. And so I wanted to show you, the passage that you're going to, I'll share my screen, the passage that you're going to be reading today. It's called Big Bugs. And oh Lord, I'm going to have some trouble if I hear it is. So this is the passage, and it's not actually about bugs. It's actually about big bug art. And so now, if I don't really love bugs, there's a pretty good chance that I'm not going to really like writing about bug art. And or maybe I don't really love bugs, but there's this artwork that's pretty phenomenal, and so now I want you to read about this because maybe you don't like bugs, but you can really appreciate this art. You're going to have to read, and while you're reading, you want to be thinking today about how the author feels about this big bug art. Now I know this picture is not great, um, so it might not be something that's useful to you, but the caption that goes along with it is, "It's hard to ignore an ant that's almost as long as a school bus." So, and then here you have another picture, which is it looks like some kind of a dragonfly, but likely this is not just about a dragonfly that you see on the ground in the middle of the summer. It's probably about an artistic sort of thing that was built by some artist named David Rogers. And so you'll answer some questions about it. And then down here, you'll see, based on the passage, what is the author's point of view on big bug art? Use two details from the passage. So while you're reading this, I want you to ask yourself, how does Jennifer Martox feel about this? Because when you answer that question, you have to say, well, I think she respects the art, or I think she doesn't like the art, or I think she, whatever. And then here's an example to show it, and here's an example to show it. And what I would do is literally, it's almost like you are taking the actual quote out of the passage and putting it on your answer. That's going to serve you. And you're going to use those transition words like, one way that I know the author feels blah, blah, blah about the artwork is because it says in the passage on line 32, da 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 da, da, and exactly the quote. I also know the author feels this way because on line 57, the passage says da 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 da. For these reasons, I think the author feels blah, blah, blah. That's a way to bang it out and to get a sure thing response from the person who's reading your piece. If they have to navigate your words and start translating, and what does he really mean by that? It's not going to serve you. So my thought is for you is that you not only make a decision about how the author feels about the artwork, or whether any other passage that you're reading about where they ask you about the point of view or anything, you take the quote right out of the passage and you write it in your answer. Okay. Good luck today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.